Alright, in the previous video we went over using either margin or markups. Basically did a basic explanation of the two and the differences, and so maybe that'll help you decide on that, which one is best for you. Uh, Personally, I prefer to use margin. It's just more accurate and more flexible. So anyway, we're going to go over here to T5, and we're going to take a look at pricing some shirts out. Now, with T5 or with any uh, system that's designed to automatically price t-shirts for you based off of settings that you put in it, there's some things that you need to go set up. And I know when a lot of people look at software like this, they're just totally confused and kind of like mind is blown a little bit. But it's really not that complicated. The thing of it is that each program out there will have different settings that will need to be done, but the basics to it is all pretty much the same. It just really depends on how the program works and how flexible the program is. Now, T5 is designed to be extremely flexible in the way that you can set it up. So before we get off the pricing, there's a couple of things that we need to look at here. We need to look at our product catalog because we need to see what settings that we have in there. Now, some programs will not allow you to have advanced settings in the product catalog. T5 does. Some of them just is here's the garment and your price for it, and that's all the settings that are in there. But T5 is a little bit more flexible in that. But don't let that confuse you. It's actually very powerful once you understand the concept. Now we're over in the garment catalog, and we've got the PC61 here from Sanmar. And when we come down into this tab area down here, you'll see that you got a little deal that says enter the price you pay for the blank item and your cost. So, if you've got a Sanmar account, for example, in this, you would go to Sanmar and look up a PC61, and you would get your price for the white shirts and the extra small through extra large, the 2X, so on down the line. And you would do the next for anything that fell in the light garments category and anything in the dark category. And we would place that in here. Now, once we do that, we have what's called the base price to the customer. This is the price that's actually T5 starts to use to calculate. And this is where T5 is a little bit flexible back in here. There again, it may look daunting, but it's not. We have a couple of other settings here. We have use margin. If this is unchecked, it's going to use markups. It's going to use the markup formula. If it's checked, it's going to use the margin formula. We also have a use your cost and shipping. Now, if you check this, it doesn't make a difference whether you have the use margin checked or not. And it ignores the percentages here in the base markup percentage fields. With this unchecked, it looks at this. Now, why would we want to do that? Over here in the garment catalog, let's say that we had t-shirts and we want to add a little bit of a base markup to them before we start doing any other calculations out there. But hoodies cost a little bit more, so we kind of want to cover our ass a little bit, and we want to bump those up a little higher. With the flexibility of the settings that you can do in the T5 garment catalog, you can do that. So you could set the hoodies to where they had a higher base markup percentage if you wanted to utilize that. We also have a shipping. In the shipping, if you put something in there like a quarter, 0.25, basically you're saying it cost you about 25 cents a garment to have it shipped to you from your supplier, and you want to recoup that. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and leave this use margins. We've got a 30% margin. Now, when we go look at a 30% margin, and we'll bring it over here real quick to the matrices. If we come in here to 30% margin, that's right here. That's equal to a 42.87% markup. So here's a reference chart in the matrix for you. So we've got this. If you want to control everything from the matrix, then just use check your cost plus shipping. And we're going to add a button in here where you can just rip through the catalog real quick and just automatically set those to whichever way you want it. When we come over here to the matrix now, this is the other piece that controls this. And I've got this matrix up right here, which is called simple. And the reason that I have it simple is I know a lot of people out there just starting out there in their garage, and they're printing, and this pricing and matrices is totally complex. Well, here's the beauty of T5, and I'm not aware of too many other programs that allows you to do this. But anyway, here's the beauty of T5. We come in and we're basically saying that we don't want to print anything lower than 11 charts. So we put 11, we key 11 in right here, and then we leave everything blank. And then our next one we say 200. So this is from 12 shirts to 200. And we set this up because this is the sweet spot that we want to hit, where we can make our highest profit margin. So then we come in and we say for one color, we're going to charge $275, for two colors $335, three colors $395, and on up to 6 colors, in this case $575. And I've only gone to 6 because I've only got a 6-color press, for example. Okay, if you got a 4-color press, you can stop at 4 colors. Now, this top grid right here, the way that the matrix is set right at this point, is set for the first print location, and then we have additional print locations. Some printers out there charge a little bit more for the first location, and then a little bit less for additional locations on the shirt. So T5 allows you to do that. And we've basically just come down in here, and in our example here, we basically just came over and on the copy down and increase by, I entered minus $1.20 and hit the go button, and it automatically filled this in. So you can do whatever you want there. You know, you can do it by percentage. I know it says copy down and increase by, but you can increase or decrease by either putting a minus or not a minus in front of it. So if we just wanted to do a minus 50, or let's say minus 40%, we would do that. We would click that, click the go, and it's now set this at 40% lower than that. And it's used the doesn't make a difference whether it was margin or markup, it'll figure it out. So we come in here and we've got this. So this is our simple setting for you guys that don't want to fill out an entire matrix. And I'm going to kind of go over the larger matrix and kind of dispel some of the myths and the complexity of those. I know a lot of people look at those and they just are totally confused, and they really have the wrong concept. So we're going to go over that. I don't know if we'll do it in this video, but if not, we'll do it in another video. The other thing that we've got set in here is we just said that we want to increase the shirt. Now, one of the other settings we have in here is over in the markup and margin setting. We have an in-house decorating, and it's checked. And with that checked, it tells T5 to only apply this 50% margin to the garment itself. Do not apply it to the print charges. If you're printing in-house, these are the charges directly that you want to charge. Where you would set it to where it wasn't in-house and you wanted to make a profit is if it was a job that you weren't printing, but you had contracted out to another printer, and you had put their prices that they were going to charge you in here. then we could go over and set that as not in-house, and it would then mark up the decorating cost as well. So we've basically, got a real simple matrix in here, nothing complex, and we've got it set for a 6-color max. We've done a 50% margin. So for there again, if we wanted to look at that, a 50% margin, just so you know, is 100% markup. It's the same thing. Okay, so we got the 50% margin. So excuse me. Once we've got that, we've come over here to our order entry screen, just as to where we can put in the information that we want about the shirts that we're going to price. Now, right here we've selected the simple matrix. That's this particular matrix right here that we want to use. And we've selected a garment vendor of Sanmar. And we've selected a PC54. Let's go ahead and change this to a PC61. And so we've got the PC61 in there. And we're going to recalculate this. And so it's calculated it based on the information that we had in the PC61. And we've got our pricing, in this case, of $10.77. And that's based on one color on the front, is what that's based on. Now you'll see these little check boxes right here, which is select the first location. And if you remember when we were over here at the simple matrix, we had a first print location and an additional print location. If this was the other way, which you can do it, is one set of charges if it's on whites or light garments, and another set if it's on dark garments, then T5 will remove those boxes from the check for you to check, because it doesn't need them. It's actually looking at the color group of the shirt for the pricing. And this setting is right here under use additional locations. So if we go up here to the demo printing, which is a more robust matrix that's filled out, you'll notice that the use additional locations is not checked, and it now says number of colors on white or light garments and number of colors on dark garments, and it makes that determination. Let me go back here. It makes that determination based on the group right here. So whichever group that we're in, it makes that determination. If we're set like the simple, where we're first print location, additional print location, as far as the decorating cost, it doesn't make a difference what group is selected. It does make a difference for the calculating the shirt cost, because you need to know what group. Is it the whites, the lights, or the darks that you have right here? And so that's this right here, whites, lights, and darks. And we're saying the dark shirts, it's a black. So we've got that in there. Now, T5, you'll notice right here is 90 items. If we come back to our matrix, we've got up to 200, and we've got to 12. What T5 will do is, if the 90 items total quantity is outside of a area that has pricing, okay, so if this was set at 89, for example, then it's going, when we try to calculate, it's going to tell us that we don't have pricing available. So it actually looks back at the matrix and makes that decision based on that. There again, very, very simple to set up once you understand it. Using a program like T5 is very powerful. You can do this with pencil and paper. You can do it with a spreadsheet. The drawback with spreadsheets, okay, if you get any spreadsheets, you build your own, you buy one, you use one. Here's the problem with them. You can't save the records except for as the entire file. So if you've done 1,000 jobs, you've got 1,000 copies of that spreadsheet saved out there if you're trying to save them so you can pull them back up later. But a program like T5 is totally unnecessary. It's saved in the database. The data is always there. And we're going to go over that in one of the other videos as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and go back to this real quick a minute, and we're going to go back to the little bit more complex. Now, a lot of people look at a matrix like this when they're setting out the pricing quantity steps, what we call breakpoints, and they're saying, well, I really don't like that, too much, because I'm trying to figure out where to set them, because if we take the example of 25 to 47, we've got $1.05 for the first color on there. And then if we go to 48, so if they're buying 46 shirts and they just decide to go ahead and buy 2 more shirts, then we lose 10 cents. You can look at it that way, but that's not the way to look at it. Okay? So you would lose 10 cents a shirt over 48 shirts or 47 shirts, and so you'd lose about, $4 and whatever cents, and that's what you're thinking. But it's really not the case. What you want to do when you're building these matrices is you want to get your pricing correct in what we call the sweet spot. Okay, and the sweet spot is the quantity of shirt ranges that you make the most profit. This is what you're trying to drive everybody to. So you want to figure your sweet spot first. And let's say our sweet spot is this 48 to 144 range. So we want to get our sweet spot pretty well nailed in to where we want. Below it, don't look at it as, well, if they're down in that, they buy a little more, they save. Look at it like if they're down in there, you're penalizing them. So you're charging more to do it. You want to make 95 cents, but if they only get it that, you're going to charge them $1.05. That's the way to look at it. Okay? It's not that they bought 2 more shirts, so you lose 10 cents a shirt. That's not the way to look at it. You're looking at it like, I want to make 95 cents a shirt, even if I'm only printing 25. But I'm going to penalize them by 10 cents a shirt if they buy below 48. So that's the way to look at it. And we'll go ahead and call it good for this, and pick this up in the next one.